Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
So Nat is over here with a lint roller.
Yeah.
Rolling stuff off of my jacket. It was a dark jacket I usually wear. And I said, well, that's the stuff that Teresa puts a lot of hairspray on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Dagan says, no, it's not. It's man-made. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, well, you have so much hair.
Like global
and
warming.
then dandruff. I don't have any dandruff.
No dandruff. Come on.
What are you
here.
talking about?
Dandruff.
The hell needs to come in and, I'm telling Teresa how much I miss Dagan and all that. I was glad everything went all right with the deal she had to do, and
that lasted.
now I hate her.
Yeah.
Well, I don't hate her, but
Somewhere in between.
I'll tell you one thing. Ashley Webster did a pretty good job filling in. I don't believe I'd be taking off a lot.
And since he also has a vagina, we're interchangeable.
She recovered it in the first 2 minutes of the show.
That's just penis envy right there.
What did you say?
Back in the game.
What did you say?
You heard what I said.
You can't say that.
I just did.
3 points, Dagan McDowell.
Happy birthday to Tom Brokaw, who's 75 today.
Yeah.
And apparently is calling for Brian Williams to be fired.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, it's over. And it's the front page of the New York Times and the New York Post again today.
That's right.
So I say to Connell and Dagan, what saves him? And Connell says another scandal of some kind, or some sort of, just got to pray for some catastrophe.
He's got to deliver a baby in a cab on the way to the hospital
Oh, no. I
while
wouldn't
putting out
do
a
it.
fire.
Now the Daily News has got a story calling into question some of the comments he made about when he was covering Katrina,
We have the tape.
in which he won awards. Let me hear it, Bernie.
It's Brian Williams, Lou's pulling it up. When he questions Katrina while he was down there.
Yeah.
And, okay, take a listen.
2 weeks there was not helped by the fact that I accidentally ingested some of the flood water. I became very sick with dysentery. Our hotel was overrun with gangs. I was rescued in the stairwell of a 5-star hotel in New Orleans by a young police officer. We are friends to this day. And it just was, I look back at total agony.
He was talking on NPR radio to Alec Baldwin, the New Orleans advocate, says that nobody had dysentery down there, no cases ever developed, and that the hotel that he stayed in was overrun by cops. There's no way that there were gangs in that hotel.
Oh, man.
Right. And then at one point he said, Dagan told me. What was that you told me, Dagan?
Oh, he saw, another part of that story was he saw a dead body floating by his hotel, and he
Right.
was staying in an area where it wasn't flooded, right?
Exactly, the French Quarter.
He was staying in the French Quarter,
Yeah.
which was not flooded during the hurricane.
I was talking to a friend of mine, a good friend of mine yesterday, who's also a journalist, and who shall remain nameless, not Lipica, but he said, this guy's always been too cute by half, maybe more. And, he gets on 30 Rock and Saturday Night Live and all these various talk shows, and he's amusing. But I noticed, and when he was talking about trying to worm his way out of being shot down in a helicopter, he employed the verbiage, of soldiers in describing the helicopter, called it a bird, and talked about the nomenclature of and trying to ingratiate himself into this context of this, but it was just trying way too hard. And at that point, he's trying to get out of it. So
He said he made a mistake recounting. Not that I lied. I was
he's
right.
done.
I was right behind the
done.
helicopter. No, you were an hour behind the
It's
helicopter.
done. So Brokaw, I've had my issues with Brokaw, but I'll tell you one thing Brokaw is not, and that's a liar. So he's a little phony and this and that, but he's not a liar. That's what he's not. So that he's a pretty good journalist.
Well, there you go.
I'd like to take this opportunity now to apologize to Bud Carey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Bud.
That's right.
Because years ago when Bud Carey refused, he was running Channel 2, and he refused to appoint Brian Williams an anchor over there. And so I called Bud, and I said it was a huge mistake. And he says he's not anchor material. And for years I chastised Bud, but it turns out Bud was right. 10 minutes after the hour, Gunsman's coming in to review the Grammys.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
All right. That'll be terrific.
And then Vinnie from Queens, Lou Rufino, Warner Wolf, Guns, of course, Tony Powell, Nat Candido, Dagan McDowell,
Everybody.
Bernie, Connell,
Wow.
and
That's some round table.
even Ashley.
Ashley.
Wait. What
and
about me?
The only person
about
who
who?
can't be on it is Tom Bowman.
Oh, no Tom
That's just
Bowman.
wrong.
What?
That's wrong.
Brant's on the panel, too.
Yeah, Brand. He said,
Brand will call
no,
in.
sir.
And Brant can be on,
That's nice.
47.
but not Tom Bowman.
Should trade him, I think, sir.
And then, and man, I can't wait for Bernard Goldberg to get on.
Oh, man.
Bernie Goldberg.
That will be good.
You know, he's always on O'Reilly, and he's on that HBO thing, which had got talk whatever it's called, Real Sports.
Yes.
And Bernie, one of the better journalists on the planet, by the way, and doesn't hold back, does he?
Nuh-uh.
So all that, oh man, this could be pretty good today. So, well, it will be.
All right.
What's going on in sports, Warner?
Tiger Woods out.
Oh, that's right. It's clean his back hurts.
Man, this is it. In the last 9 tournaments, he missed a cut 3 times or had to withdraw 3 times.
Yeah.
So
What are you reporting in the business world, Dagan?
That the markets were up big time yesterday, and hey, baby, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, we get the jobs report. I'll have the expectations.
And here now, our answer to Bruce Jenner, a man with apparently a vagina. Ashley
Oh,
Webster.
man. Our answer to Bruce Jenner.
What do you got, Ashley?
Well, finally, Rob has to go somewhere else to get his flip phone. Radio Shack officially filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection after doing so for day after day, week after week. It turns out that Sprint is going to end up renting back some of those stores to, peddle its goods around the country.
And Rob being Bob Dylan this morning, right?
Yeah,
What will you be doing this?
got a new record deal covering some other artists.
Oh, okay.
All right, Mr. Don.
Yeah, we played some of your Frank Sinatra stuff.
Yeah,
That's pretty painful.
it's a big hit now.
Yeah. And the Vermont Teddy Bear people sent me a couple of Vermont teddy bears, the Vermont 50 Shades of Grey teddy bear. And they come, you can buy them, and they come with a little mask and handcuffs.
Oh, man.
And you can dominate Valentine's Day with these. Why am I plugging these people? I have no idea.
Look at these guys.
Except they're a terrific company. They've been around a long time. There's a bunch of old hippies up there in Vermont decided to make some teddy bears.
Mm-hmm.
And the bears are great. I mean, they have all. If you don't want to get a freaky bear, or you're a little reluctant to give your baby a freaky bear, thinking, "Oh, what's she going to think?" Well, what could she possibly do? Other than, of course, divorce you, or never speak to you again, or say, "Let's do this." So, I mean, there's always that possibility.
Yeah, roll the dice.
Anyway, you can get the bears. What's the number? 1-800-829-BEAR. I believe that's it. That's how long they've been a sponsor. 1-800-829-BEAR. Yeah.
You got the Marv Albert bear?
And get a dominant. Yeah, do that. These bears is just stupid. They have a bear. You know, they used to get on my ass about talking about sending your bear to the bear hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was inappropriate. Now they're selling these. Now they're getting a freak on with the bears. So, well, whatever. Anyway, 14 after the hour. A lot of stuff coming up. Bernie, what do you have?
I have, let's see, Jon Stewart savaging Brian Williams last night.
Right.
And late night reaction to Brian Williams. We have that. And your boy Larry Wilmore apologizing already. He's only been on the air about 2 weeks now, and he had to apologize last night. We have that too.
For what?
I'll let you know when we get to the briefing, boss.
Keep it where it is.
Something he said.
Here's Conor McShane with the news. It's almost 15 after the hour. Good morning, Carl.
Morning, man. We start with Ukraine. We also have news out of Jordan this morning, but the leaders of France and Germany are headed to Moscow today. They'll discuss the crisis in Ukraine with the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. Both the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, and the French President, François Hollande, say they have a peace plan. They met yesterday with the Ukrainian president, Petro Poroshenko, so they're off to Moscow today. Now, as for Jordan, they're fighting back, certainly ramping up the airstrikes against ISIS in both Syria and Iraq. Dozens of Jordanian fighter jets bombed the training centers and the weapons storage sites.
I could see Angela Merkel in a guard tower, couldn't you?
Oh, no. Shepard Smith from Fox News is over in Jordan covering all of this, and he spoke to the foreign minister of that country, and here's part of that.
The military, our brave pilots in the Air Force, have continued doing what they've been doing for many weeks, which is to take out targets, ISIS targets in Syria and in Iraq. I think in the last 24 hours you've seen an intensification of these bombing raids.
Jordanian pilots have carried out strikes in Iraq and Syria.
That's right. Today, more Syria than Iraq. But like I said, it's an ongoing effort. It's not new, but it's more intensified at this stage.
Certainly more intensified. It comes after...
he's a great journalist, Shep Smith.
Yeah. Yep. He said he just felt like he needed to be over there after the news broke about the Jordanian pilot and it all being burned to death the other day. Now, Jordan's military went on to say that the strikes will continue, quote, until we eliminate them. So that's what they're saying about it.
16 after the hour. What's going on in business, Dagan? It's Dagan's Business Report is sponsored by the Hackensack University Medical Center. What up?
Good morning, sir. Dow jumped almost 212 points yesterday. Major stock market gauges are now in positive territory for the year, and the futures are up slightly ahead of the biggest economic news we get every month, the monthly jobs report. January, here are the expectations out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. 234,000 jobs added last month, with the unemployment rate holding at 5.6%.
That's what you said yesterday, right, Ashley?
I did, but I think it's going to be low. I'm going for 216.
Oh, new prediction.
Bold prediction.
Well, let me write this down. Man, I got to get I'm going to write this down. You are predicting 216.
Yes.
What are you predicting, Dagan?
234.
Ooh.
Are you using that as is it really 216?
No, I'm predicting that.
Okay, good. All right. I wanted to make sure I didn't screw up.
No. You're right on the money.
Right.
And it's going to be 5.6?
Yes.
Okay. So, somebody's going down.
Yeah.
All right, a showdown.
It's 17 after the hour.
What do we
time
get
for
to
sports.
do to him?
Huh?
What do we get to do to him if he's wrong?
Anything you want.
What?
Wait a second here. On tape?
50 Shades.
Well, that's between you two.
Yes.
It's 17 after the hour.
And the bear.
It's
Hey, tape it.
you can I'll just
bear.
do whatever you want. 17 after the hour. Time for sports. Sponsored by Peerless Spoilers.
Okay, Dagan.
And here with that is Warner Wolf. Morning, Warner.
Morning, man. Coming to you from the NJDiet.com studio. Say so long to Tiger Woods. Torrey Pines, San Diego. Woods, for the 6th time in the last 9 tournaments, he either withdraws or missed the cut. Yesterday, bogeyed 2 of his first 3 holes, quit on the 12th hole, back problems.
Oh.
Here was Wood after the exit.
I was ready to go. I had a good warm-up session the first time around, and then we stood out here and I got cold. Everything started deactivating again, and it's frustrating that I just can't stay activated.
So,
Isn't his name Woods?
Tiger Woods.
You said Wood.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, no. I just.
No, you're right. Sure, certainly.
Very good point.
Certainly, it's plural. Tiger Woods, as opposed to James Wood. The actor.
Well, that's not
Was he
plural.
right?
That's just simply his name.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Apostrophe.
there's not 2 of them.
There wasn't a possessive positive.
You really are an idiot. Or I am.
NBA.
And we both are.
Could be.
Hurry up. I'm tired of all this.
Oh. The Cavs 12 in a row beat the Clippers 105-94. Love at 24. LeBron.
Oh, they're on fire.
Yes. Both set out the fourth quarter after leading by 32. Now, in this game, there were 5 technicals called against the Clippers, 4 in the third quarter, and 1 by rookie female referee Lauren Holtkamp on Chris Paul. So here was Chris Paul's response to the technical.
Like the tech that I got right there was ridiculous. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what she say. That's terrible. There's no way that can be a tech. We try to get the ball out fast every time down the court. And when we did that, she said, and I said, why, and she gave me a tech. If that's the case, then this might not be for her.
Oh.
What did he say?
said if this is the case, that may not be for her.
I mean, you said what?
If that's the case, after calling this foul, then this may not be for her, meaning she shouldn't be a referee.
I don't know about that. 20 minutes after the hour.
That
Here
could
on the
cost
Imus
us,
in the Morning program, here is Connell McShane with Bob Dylan. Connell?
Good morning, man. Here he is, the musical poet laureate of our time.
I said a hip hop, the hippie to the hip hop, you don't stop.
As you've never seen him before.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
First, it was Frank Sinatra, and now Bob Dylan sings the legends of hip-hop.
If I wasn't rapping, baby, I'd still be riding Mercedes, chrome and shining, sipping daily. No rest till Whitey pay me.
Featuring the greatest hip-hop artists of all time, Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G.
Super Nintendo, Sega, Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. 50-inch screen, money green, green leather sofa, limousine, a chauffeur.
Dr. Dre with Snoop Dogg.
Ain't nothing but a G-thing, baby. It's like this and like that and like this and
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Order now and get Jay-Z's Big Pimpin', 50 Cent, Into Club, Big Daddy Kane's No Half Steppin', and the Wu-Tang Clan.
Cash rules everything around me.
NWA, Public Enemy, 2 Chainz, Wiz Khalifa, and Nelly.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
Bob Dylan sings the legends of hip-hop. Plus, if you call in the next 5 minutes, you'll receive a special bonus CD. Bob Dylan sings Celine Dion.
Near, far, wherever you are, and I know that my heart will go on.
Bob Dylan's Legends of Hip-Hop.
This is Bob Dylan saying, F the police.
Thank you, Connell. Very good job. And you too, Ron. I probably played this record when it was a hit. I don't remember. But Wyatt reintroduced me to it. It's a great record. Great record.
Mama, take this badge from me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Hey, 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 yeah. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Yeah. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Hey, hey, yeah.
Have either one of you ever had a blind date?
No.
Yes, I have.
Stevie
Well,
Wonder?
you just told me last
I
night.
know, but you know what? I didn't want to mention it because it was really bad, and then I found out that he died.
Oh, you really sucked the joy out of
Probably
life
killed
of
himself.
everybody. He killed himself after his date with
That's a good one, Bernie.
That's great. You just sucked the life out of that guy.
So, God, am I going to put up with this bitch? I don't think so. I'm out of here. I don't care how good looking she is.
It's true. So I feel horrible.
They are here on the Imus in the Morning program. Gunsman will talk about the lame-ass Grammy Awards coming up, except Dagan just told me that Brandy Clark, we played her records to death. I love her. A girl wrote some great songs. She's going to appear, and she's nominated too, and then so is Dwight Yoakam.
And they're going to perform together.
I'll be loving me some Dwight Yoakam.
Huh, that'll be good.
So that's my little texting pal. So that boy up all night long. I said that boy's up all night long. Time for a Bernie briefing, sponsored by Peerless Boilers at 30 minutes past the hour. And here with that is the aforementioned Bernard McGurk. Go away, Mr. McGurk.
One of Mr. Imus from the NJDiet.com studios. And regarding the ISIS savages burning a man alive, this guy on Fox, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, said the following.
This kind of violence is captivating, exhilarating, thrilling to these guys. It's never going to get better for them than this. They have power now. They can exert their will over others. I mean, this is better than the best sex they've ever had, and it's easier on the goats.
What?
It's easier on the goats. Stimulating the PETA people. They have a movement now, a hashtag movement called #SaveTheGoats. So let's get them. Let's get them. And Jon Stewart did no such thing, eviscerate his fellow liberal Brian Williams last night. What are you kidding? The only person who did take any shots at Williams or do any jokes on him was my boy Conan O'Brien, boss. Take a listen.
All right.
Brian Williams has admitted he embellished a story about being in a helicopter that was shot at in Iraq. Yeah, Williams says the helicopter part was true, but it was a coin-operated helicopter outside of a Chuck E. Cheese. Brian could be in trouble with NBC, with the network brass, but I'm not worried about him. He's getting advice from his daughter Allison on how to survive a chewing out.
Oh, no.
Now, folks, if you're confused about that joke, watch Girls, Season 4, Episode 1, 4 minutes, 40 seconds in.
That's pretty good. Anyone else? Yeah, well, he's in big trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, barring some,
Yeah, he's got to hope for some huge story to come up.
some huge stories.
Maybe go to rehab or,
No,
or,
he's a schmuck.
or go to a, claim he's going to have a sex change operation. It'll garner all kinds of sympathy and everything.
I was telling, I've known him pretty well for years. I was in a meeting over there at 30 Rock years ago with him and Steve Kappas. I forget what we were talking about, something. And I noticed that guys who get in certain situations and over-swear because they're just trying to be like whatever. Like I swear a lot, and sometimes inappropriately, but not way overboard. But he was dropping the F-bomb so that it was actually uncomfortable, just trying to be, I'm wondering.
Right.
So, no, he's, and he can be, I just feel bad about eviscerating poor old Bud Carey all these years, and it turns out Bud was right. Guns is coming up next with a review of the lame-ass Grammys that may not be so lame, or are they, Dagan? What?
No, I think it'll be awesome.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think just because Guns thinks it's going to suck, I say that.
Well, we don't know what Guns is
Okay.
going to think. We'll find out next.
Give him a chance.
Here's one of Guns' 5 favorite songs.
Morning continues right now on Fox Business.
All right. 21 till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Let me read you Guns' bio.
What?
Mike Gunzelman is one of the hottest up-and-coming media personalities in the nation.
Hold on, I'm trying to write this down.
Not even 30 years old, Guns is the featured part of the crew on the hit morning show Imus in the Morning. Imus personally tapped Guns for his ability to present real news in a way that appeals to a younger audience.
Just stop it.
Didn't you really discover Guns, Bernie?
Oh, man.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you brought him to
Absolutely.
my attention.
No
Did
doubt.
you tap him, Bernie?
Guns has covered the New York Yankees for WFUV in New York. Is that the Fordham station?
That's right, baby.
Pops up on ESPN New York for regular appearances.
Pops up.
He has also appeared on Fox Business Channel, the Sean Hannity program, and a Fox News Channel, as well as MTV and Fuse Television.
Wow.
Where is a mention of Neil Cavuto? First of all, good morning, Mr. Gunn.
Good morning, sir. Very glad to be here as always. That needs immediate revision because I got the big dog, Neil Cavuto. I got to include him on that. So I don't know. I got to revise that. Send
That's
that
a pretty big show to be on.
I mean, he's the man.
Oh, Neil Cavuto.
He
what
hooks
are
it
you
up.
nuts?
I know. You know.
You appeared on Fuse. How many people watch Fuse?
More people.
9?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Anyway,
that almost makes you sound like you're happening.
That is I know, right? Who did I pay to do that? Who did I pay to write
anyway,
that?
what's your overall view of the Grammys?
Oh, I think they're going to be pretty bad this year.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think it was a good year for music in general. I don't really think there were any huge standout acts or new artists in general. Sam Smith, I think he's going to be he's nominated for 6 along with Beyonce and Pharrell. The 3 of them had the most nominations at 6.
What's Pharrell nominated for?
He actually, you know that annoying song that we've heard all year, Happy?
Yeah.
That didn't even get nominated for Song of the Year. You would think it would have. So he's like, you know, like pop contemporary R&B artist. I don't see him winning though. But Sam Smith, I see winning. But last year you had
Sam Smith's pretty good.
Yeah, and he's solid. And I think they'll go. He's a safe choice, safe
Can
bet
sing.
for him. Yeah. Last year you had Blurred Lines. You had Get Lucky. You know, all those like Daft Punk songs.
Blurred Lines was the
Robin Thicke. Yeah.
they ripped off from Marvin Gaye, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah. This year you didn't really have anything like that. So I think that's going to be awful. You know, just looking at some of the categories.
Well, look at Record of the Year.
Yeah, Record of the Year. Now that means that goes to the production and engineering side of it.
Right.
So, all right. So I have Iggy Azalea winning that one because there's a lot of elements in that song.
Hey, who else is nominated?
You've got Sam Smith, but that song itself is not really good as far as
You don't like
production.
Meghan Trainor and All About the Bass?
Meghan Trainor.
I love that record.
Yeah, you would. Meghan Trainor.
What does that mean?
Meghan Trainor's as big as an inspiration to music as Huckabee is. All right, so like Meghan Trainor will be nobody come next year. She had one good song. You can't win a Grammy on that. Absolutely not.
But what did you mean, though? You're making me feel. First of all, Dagan told me I had dandruff, which I don't. I don't think.
You'd have to have real hair to have dandruff. So.
Yeah, and I do. You
Not this
son of a bitch.
Wow. Not this
And
straw hair over there like a freaking scarecrow. So.
You know that Sam Smith.
This
lost...
is really hurtful, Guns.
Wait a second.
Are you hearing this, Bernie?
Yeah, I'm very offended. This is not the way it's
This
supposed
is
to go.
my hair. This is it. So.
Update this bio. Mike Gunzelman used to appear on the Imus in the Morning program.
No, I don't mind.
You know the thing you have to remember about Sam Smith is he just lost this suit about this song to Tom Petty.
Right, but I was reading.
Tell me about that, Lou.
Well, it's in the suit. It claimed he lost. Actually, he has to pay Tom Petty now.
He's
will
a
get
thief.
Writing,
Royalties,
will now get writing credits.
He's a thief.
From it's very debatable about whether the songs. It's the Tom Petty song. I Won't Back Down.
It's very close. It's a definite ripoff.
Yeah. Well, I actually have him winning Song of the Year, but not Album Year or Record of the Year.
Anyway, White asked me if I liked Tom Petty the other day, and I said yes, I did. Anyway, back to what do you mean you would? When I said I like Meghan Trainor's record. It's all about that bass.
It's all about that bass minus the B, you know. So, I don't know the way you come across sometimes. You would strike me as liking a song like that. So.
You better check that bio again.
Really well explained, guys.
I mean, this is the guy who loves Lyle Lovett. Who, if I hear one more time, I'd rather hear Deirdre talk about vaccinations than hear another Lyle Lovett song.
You can't say this. Wow. This is crazy. Wow. Have you lost your mind?
Clearly, yes.
It is my nightmare when you play your Might Be Elvis songs every Monday.
Keep digging, Guns. Keep digging.
This is not going well.
Oh, wow. This is terrible.
This could be the worst guest appearance ever.
Good morning.
How about Delbert McClinton?
I don't know anything about that guy, so no.
Jesus.
And there's Dwight Yoakam. What is a Dwight Yoakam? Like,
what are you crazy?
I like Brandy Clark. I got her as best new artist, but what does she do? Like, what is a Dwight?
Oh my God, this is worse than Bethany Frankel at this point.
You've lost your mind.
Good thing you got dressed up for this one, Guns.
Yeah. For the funeral that I have
You might
right
as well
after.
go to the next job interview with it on.
Who do you have as the best new artist?
Brandy Clark. Yeah, she's gonna revive this Dwight Yoakam dude's career clearly with this performance. So and you know who else is performing? Madonna. Madonna's gonna be up there hoping her face doesn't melt off. You know.
Best rock album. I like Ryan Adams. Do you like
Ryan Adams is ridiculously awesome. I love him,
Yeah.
but I think the Black Keys are a very strong band. We played
Also
them
like
before.
them as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
How come you don't say anything about me liking Ryan Adams?
They're nominated
Because I
this
can actually
year?
respect that. So.
Man.
Wow.
I like Ryan Adams.
And by the way, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, their album is
Yeah, no, it's not happening. So is U2, but that U2 album's not going to win anything. You know?
No, they suck.
Yeah. He's
Do you care anything about the best new country album?
yeah.
Of course.
Is Lyle Lovett going to win it? What's he come out with lately?
He's a genius. What are you talking about?
All right. That's coming from the guy like the Bob Dylan, Frank Sinatra album.
Hey,
Surprised
almost.
that's not
Whoa.
nominated yet.
Another shot.
Jesus. They just might as well get them all out.
Benny Iman is on the ground.
I mean, I'm actually shocked.
I care about music, clearly. You know, it's all coming out. So.
Not about Lyle Lovett is the poet laureate of Texas of this country. What are you talking about?
I don't know what
Bob Dylan.
a poet. Is that, a poet what?
He's written some of the great songs ever.
Didn't you listen to what I said earlier?
Yeah.
Wait, you
Good
turned Dagan off. There's no way Guns will be into it. I mean,
Can't wait to meet him next time he comes through.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what'll happen. He'll whip your ass. That's what'll happen.
That
I'm boss from Texas. That's
Texas
a long, tall
justice.
Texan. That's what I'm talking about.
But you've also got Kanye West performing next to Paul McCartney.
I hate him.
That won't be awkward at all. Paul McCartney and Kanye West next to each other. Sure, that'll turn out
I
great.
don't hate him.
Who's Paul McCartney?
Anyways, 14 to the hour, talking with the Gunsman, who is reviewing the Grammys that will be
Previewing
the
Right.
Grammys. I'm sorry.
So.
That will be broadcast Sunday night on one of the television networks. Speaking of the networks, I don't know if I asked you on the Mensa meeting or not, but let me ask you again.
Okay.
You don't watch any of the evening newscasts. Well, even I don't. So.
Right.
And it's geared for my demographic, and I don't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your take on it? What you know about the Brian Williams thing?
Well, I kind of said it during the Mensa meeting. I think this is, if you are a military member, you are infuriated right now because these guys already fight. They go out there, they do roadside missions, they do everything already, and they don't need Brian Williams to lie for them.
Right.
Like, I would be so angry at him. I think he's got to go because it's a consistent lie that he kept doing.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's just egregious. It's just crazy for him to keep doing it. Like, you have issues, sir. Like, you got to go. I think he really has to go because you're pissing off the most important people the country's got.
All right, let me just say this about guns. This is a lesson to some of the other guests who come in here. This was a great appearance.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he was hilarious.
Crazy.
And if you're willing to make fun of stuff I like, I mean, you got to do that.
Oh, man.
Guns was great.
I can't wait till someone else tries it now.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Rob
but
Bartley.
You get an
But if
email.
you can't do it as Guns does it, then you might have a problem. But
think twice.
this was a great discovery that we made, wasn't it, Bernie?
Excellent. Brilliant.
Gunsman from downtown.
Nice knowing you all.
Vinnie from Queens is next, 12 till the hour. This is Brandy Clark.
She hates her job, loves her kids, bored with her husband, tired of the same old list of things to do. So when the to-dos have all been done, she sits down at the kitchen table, rolls herself a fat one. Smoke so sweet fills the air. She maybe ought to crack a window. All she can do is stare at the paint that's been peeling off of the walls. A couple of tokes and her troubles don't seem all that tall.
Page of the New York Times, one page of the New York Post. I haven't checked the Daily News yet.
No.
But Brian Williams is all over it.
Yeah, still. Yep.
And the headline in the Post is Tom Brokaw, who's 75 today, by the way, wants him fired.
Yeah, page 6 story.
If that's true, he's gone. So. But so I was talking to Connell and Dagan off the air about what could save him. I don't think he's. I don't know. He's all. A friend of mine, a journalist friend of mine, said he's always been too cute by half and maybe even more than half, and got all enamored of himself. Going on 30 Rock and Saturday Night Live and these, the talk shows. And he is funny and amusing. And we used to have him on all the time. He was funny. But I have to now apologize myself to Bud Carey, I'm sorry, who was the
So funny.
He used to run Channel 2 back in the last century.
He was the general manager, right?
The general manager of
Yeah.
Channel 2.
Yeah. He brought me back to New York, too.
Pud Carey. Because he got rid of Brian Williams. He wouldn't make him an anchor, and I called him and told him what an idiot he was. And he said he's not anchor material. Well, Bud, you were right. So,
Well,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I said icky stuff about Mr. Carey all these years.
Yeah, imagine that.
What an idiot he was.
Yeah.
Was he an idiot? No. He was right.
Well, that's very big of you, I mean.
Yeah.
Huge.
Actually, he is an idiot.
No, hey, come on.
Did you like him, Warner?
Yes, very much.
He was a kind of a nice guy, wasn't he?
Absolutely. My wife and I went out with him and his wife once for dinner. Yeah.
Uh-oh, swinging. Yeah, baby.
No.
Did you swap wives and have sex or no?
I got a pud for you, Mrs. Carey.
But as I said, he brought me back to New York, 1997.
You've been around a long time, Warner. You're a journalist. What do you think's going to happen here?
Wow. I think he should go. I mean, there is no credibility whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that could save him is if enough people don't care, but you would think they would. I would think enough important people would care.
You think the NBC News would care?
Yes.
That's who would care.
Of course.
I mean, you can't. I mean, man, they make a lot of money with that show. You know?
Yeah.
You know, coming up on Vinnie from Queens, who's the bigger douche, Brian Williams or Senator Richard Blumenthal?
On Vinnie from
And, I mean, you guys will tell me what you think, but I would pick Blumenthal. Blumenthal lied about serving in Vietnam.
Right.
But I would pick Blumenthal. I mean, I would pick Brian Williams because Blumenthal's a politician, so you know he's going to lie. Of course he's lying.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
But you don't expect your news. I mean, even Tom Brokaw, who is arrogant and all wrapped up in himself, is not a liar. You know?
No.
I mean, Brokaw wasn't going around exaggerating what he did, nor has he ever. So, oh man, this is not a great story.
No.
But
Disturbing. He should do the right thing himself and resign. That would sort of save his legacy a little bit. Let's do it on his own. He's got plenty of money.
nobody has plenty of money.
That's true.
Nobody has plenty of money. So I don't care how much money you have, you don't have plenty. So it's 9 minutes after the hour. Bob Dylan's back. So
Yeah.
Bob, what you got now?
I got Legends of 70s Soul music.
Oh, this will be good.
Okay, this has all been inspired by Bob Dylan's recording of a bunch of Frank Sinatra songs, which may be, I don't know if it's the worst thing I ever heard. Is it that terrible, Lou?
It's bad.
It's up there.
Oh God, it's bad.
It is bad, but you know, I was gonna listen to it when I worked out yesterday, but then.
How can you work out to
workout?
it? How can you work out to
Well,
it?
because I don't need to have Guns N' Roses or AC/DC to work out. I listen to Lyle Lovett wrote in Sonata, pumping some big time iron.
What? One pump every 5 minutes.
I understand.
You are such a jerk, Dagan.
On the road.
You guys are just horrible.
The road to 1, 2.
You know who's great this morning is Guns.
Guns is terrific.
I love Guns.
Loving Guns.
And you think Guns was great, Rob?
Yeah. He was good.
See, here's the problem with Rob and Tony. Guns was a lot better than either one of them would have been reviewing the Grammys. And so now they're angry about it.
Well, you're projecting.
Yeah.
And they're, oh, really?
Yeah, because we said he was great.
Ugly.
What?
We told him back in the green room, you killed.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said.
Well, here's Connor with the news.
All right, Iman. Good morning. We'll start with what's happening or what may happen with regard to
Why don't you
Ukraine.
start with the news?
German Chancellor Angela Merkel and she and the French President Francois Hollande, they say they're going to use all of their power on their visit to Moscow today. They're going to talk to Putin about Ukraine, and they talked to the Ukrainian president yesterday. They claim to have a peace plan, so that'll be the focus today in terms of what happens there.
You know what I've been wondering lately?
What's that?
My wife and I were talking about it last night. Why there is so much, I mean, I'm not naive here.
Right.
But why is there so much anti-Semitism in the world now? And it seems more prevalent than ever. Do you know, Bernie? I mean,
I don't know the Arab thing, the Muslim thing. I think that may be motivating a lot of it, especially in Europe.
Some of these college campuses in this country?
Yes, right. It's messed up.
That's really disturbing. I've said forever, one of the most anti-Semitic cities on the planet is New York. So, I remember one time when we used to take the show on the road, Mark Chernoff, I love him, said he's still the operations manager over at WFA, and he's a great guy. But we were going down to North Carolina, remember that? Mm-hmm. And he's Jewish. And a lady down there asked him seriously if he had horns.
Oh, God.
What?
And I'll tell you another thing. I mean, I'm not on some crusade, believe me. But, man, I don't think the president helps, and the administration's posture regarding Israel is all that helpful. Do you?
No, and if you hear this clip that Connell has of him yesterday at the National Prayer Breakfast,
right,
talking about, hey, well, look, the Christians committed terrible deeds back in the Crusades, sort of in the wake of this burning of this soldier, almost excusing it. So it's just like it's sick.
Yeah, we have that now. If you want to see,
appalling.
I'll tell you, there is less prejudice with the people I meet in Texas than any place I've ever been. The cowboys at the rodeo and the families at the rodeo, far less prejudice. For example, Joe Beaver, there's not a prejudiced bone in his body, or any of those guys. Those are tough guys, and they're, you know, that's Texas stuff. That's a real deal. But it's really refreshing. And
a lot of these lefties are anti-Israel.
Oh,
man. They
man.
won't put their cards on the table because they're afraid. And that's the root of a lot
Here's
of it.
another thing. Why?
It could be damaging politically to a lot of them. They don't have the courage of their convictions.
Well, why don't people like Jews? Why, Warner, don't they?
Well, I'll tell you a couple things. Number one, there is a jealousy. Education is huge in the Jewish religion, Jewish makeup, family-oriented. Another thing, a huge thing is the population of Jewish people in the world is 0.25%. That's it. So let's pick on the little guy. Do you think there would be that much anti-Semitism if the Jews made up 50% of the population? No.
Well, look at the prejudice and racism directed at blacks, and they're 13 or 14% of the population in this country. I don't know what they are in the world, but God, it's disappointing. I mean, I know I sound like a sap and like I just arrived on the planet and just figured all this out, but I mean, you get to thinking about it. I don't get it. Anyway, here's Connell. I didn't mean to go on some kind of...
No, but it's on that note, as Bernie was saying, this prayer breakfast is getting a lot of attention from yesterday. There's been talk about how the president would characterize terrorists, whether it be Islamic extremism, and he hasn't said that. He did say yesterday ISIS is a brutal death cult that carries out unspeakable acts in the name of religion, but then he did, after that, go on to say, history tells us this behavior is not unique to Muslims. Listen.
And lest we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place. Remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ. In our home country, slavery and Jim Crow all too often was justified in the name of Christ.
President Obama.
Unbelievable. The Crusades was in medieval times, and slavery, the abolitionists, John Brown, they were all motivated by Christianity. What the hell's he talking about?
Jesus, that's scary.
That's
isn't it?
outrageous.
Man.
I mean, especially in the wake of what just happened to the guy that was burned alive in a cage.
Yes. This is 2015.
We've grown. Muslim extremists haven't. Stop making
Right.
excuses
It's the
for 'em.
21st century here.
You've done enough damage this morning, McDowell. You're on my. You're lucky you're not in a timeout.
Timeout.
What?
Timeout, New York.
16 after the hour here on the Imus This Morning program. Want to do more news.
Well, maybe to bring us all together, I meant. Pope Francis has agreed to address a joint session of the Congress this fall, so he'll be the first pope to do that. Here's the Speaker of the House, John Boehner.
We're humbled that the Holy Father has accepted our invitation and certainly look forward to receiving his message on behalf of the American people.
Now you feel better, don't you? Right? The Pope is coming.
17 after the hour. All right, it's time now for another visit from Bob Dylan, and it all begins, of course, with our pronouncer, Colin McShane. Good morning, Colin.
Good morning, I-Man. Well, you heard him do Sinatra. You heard him tackling rap classics. Now, Bob Dylan is back with a brand new album.
So come on, baby. Stop beating around the bush. Hey, let's get it on.
Get your baby in the mood with legends of 70s soul music sung by Bob Dylan.
Bet you by golly, wow, you're the one I've been waiting for.
With Teddy Pendergrass.
You got what I need.
Al Green.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. Let's stay together.
Luther Vandross.
A room is not a room, and a room is not a house, and a house is not a home.
The Commodores.
Because I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Barry White.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby. I don't know about that. There's many times we've shared love and made love. I can't get enough of your love, baby.
And Curtis Mayfield.
I'm your mama. I'm your daddy. I'm that N-word in the alley. I'm your pusher man.
And if you act now, you'll receive a bonus CD. Bob Dylan sings the Bee Gees disco hits.
Whether you're a lover or whether you're a mother, you're staying alive, staying alive.
Hey, Bob, you got to let me borrow this album.
No, my brother, you had to get your own.
It's 18 after the hour. Time for the business report, and here with that, sponsored by Peerless Brothers with Dagan McDowell. Good morning, Ms. McDowell.
Good morning, sir. Dow Futures up 29 points ahead of the 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time jobs report. Here are your estimates. January job creation expected to come in at 234,000 jobs, with the unemployment rate holding at 5.6%. And this weekend, SpongeBob is going to whoop up on American Sniper at the box office. SpongeBob, starring in Sponge Out of Water, will likely win the weekend with a $35 million opening. American Sniper could fall to second place. And there's this new Wachowski siblings movie. It used to be Wachowski brothers, but now a man is a woman, right?
Too much information.
Jupiter Ascending. It's supposed to stink. Will probably come in third.
All right, the job estimate is 234,000. Ashley Webster is predicting what?
216. I'm shooting low.
Okay, and
prediction.
you both agree the unemployment rate will hold at 5.6%.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's do sports now at 19 after the hour. Sports sponsored by Peerless Brothers. Remember, Warner, we have Vinnie McQueen's coming up.
Okay.
So don't wear me out with clips of local announcers talking about effing basketball.
No.
Anyway, good morning, Warner.
Good morning, I'm coming to you from the NJDiet.com studio. Forget winning a major. Is Tiger Woods also physically done? Besides, no majors going on 7 years now, but now with a bad back, breaking down again, withdrawing on the 12th hole, yesterday's first round, Torrey Pines, you have to ask, is that it? In the last 9 tournaments, Woods has either missed the cut or had to withdraw 6 times. NBA last...
He's got enough. Not that it's all about money, but what does he... It's probably not about money at all.
There's never enough money, boss.
Well, that's true, too.
Never enough.
What does he do, though?
He wants those 4 more majors to catch Nicklaus.
He's not going to catch Nicklaus.
It doesn't look like it now.
No. I'll catch Nicklaus before he does.
You definitely have a good chance.
Although Nicklaus won 3 after he was 39, but he was in good physical shape.
Sure.
Keep that in mind.
1 at 46.
Right.
NBA, the Cavs 12 in a row, led by 32 in the third quarter, beat the Clippers 105-94. Love at 24, LeBron 23. Both of them only played 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Blazers and Hornets win, and the Mavs beat the Kings by 23 points, despite 23 points, 11 boards, for an upset king, DeMarcus Cousins.
Just man up and play, man. Just play hard. If we play hard, we get our brains in, I'm fine with that. But to just come out and lay down like we did tonight, it's unacceptable.
Oh, man, DeMarcus Cousins.
Well, he's right. 21 after the hour. Bernie, what do you have coming up in your briefing?
We have another, an NBC anchor making a fool of himself. Good Mark Levin clip and a bunch of funny stuff.
Yeah. I would remind Guns that Dwight Yoakam was just signed by Warner Brothers Reprise Records and will be on the Grammys Sunday night with Brandon Clark. Guns suck. Dwight Yoakam does not.
Take hold of my hand, and I'll do what I can to make everything right, at least for tonight. Just take hold of my hand, brush your lips against mine, and I promise to find a way out of the pain, someplace safe from the rain. If you just press your lips against mine.
They are. Vinnie McQueen's coming up. But before we get to that, it's time for a Bernie briefing sponsored by Fearless Boilers. Good morning, Mr. McGoy.
Morning, Mr. Imus from the NJDiet.com studios. And just ahead, as you mentioned, ahead of Vinnie from Queens, we have this sports-related item. Pete Carroll on the Today Show with Matt Lauer yesterday. Listen to loser Matt Lauer's question.
Me back to when you weren't right, and I watched your expression as you saw that play unfold, and you bent over at the waist, and my heart broke for you, to be perfectly honest. How were you feeling inside?
Immediately. I mean, within the instant of the turnover, the gravity of what just happened, I understood. There was only a second or two before you stand up and start looking ahead and getting ready for what's coming.
Very enlightening.
My heart. Oh, Pete.
Started
Pete,
crying.
You'll get over it.
That is disgusting.
And finally, boss, we have a good, fiery, short Mark Levin rant. Take a listen to him.
Obama is selling out the United States of America and everybody who serves under him and goose steps along with him. From that spokes idiot, that fake Josh Not Ernest, to that clown who's Secretary of State, and he's always been a clown. Shame on these people.
Wow.
An ass clown.
They're Nazis. Those Nazi bastards, says Mark Levin.
Back to the
30 minutes
Crusades.
after the hour here in the Imus Morning program. Well, we have a few tickets left for Imus on Broadway, which is going to happen Monday night over at the Hard Rock Cafe in that little theater they have there, which is terrific. Tony Danza's going to be there in person, doing stuff from his show, Honeymoon in Vegas, and a bunch of other Broadway musicals. So The Lion King, Cabaret, Into the Woods, Les Mis, of course, Chicago, The Carole King Story, Kinky Boots, It Should Have Been You, and a bunch more. It's an opportunity for you to see a little bit from all of these shows, help raise some money to fight AIDS and all that stuff, and Broadway Cares. It's also Rob Bartlett is going to perform live. Why wouldn't you want to do this? Plus, you can go to the Hard Rock, watch all this, have yourself a cocktail. It could turn out to be a good night for you. So go to WABCRadio.com, buy your tickets now. Let's do
The
this.
morning continues right now.
All right, it's 37 minutes past the hour here on the Imus Morning program. I can't wait for Bernard Goldberg, who will be on in about an hour. A terrific journalist, and of course, he's on O'Reilly all the time, and he does stuff himself, obviously. He's also on with CBS for 20 years, something like that.
Well, he'll be good on the Brian Williams stuff, no doubt about it.
Written a number of best-selling books. I had a cough, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on Real Sports on HBO, which is terrific. All right, time for Vinnie McQueen, starring Warner Wolf, Lou Rufino, Gunsman, Tony Powell, Nat Candido, Connell McShane, Bernard McGurk, Dagan McDowell, and maybe
Bill Evans.
and maybe Tom Bowman. Maybe.
Why don't you just change the segment to everybody but Tom?
That's not a bad idea.
And Ashley Webster, too. That's what it is. Everybody but Tom. All right.
Manchester United.
Topic number one, who's the bigger douche? Greg Anthony for trying to pick up a $80 prostitute, turns out to be an undercover cop, or Warren Sapp for failure to promptly pay for the two girls he ordered up to the Lovetron. Start with you, Dagan.
Warren Sapp got to pay,
Yeah.
particularly if services were rendered. That's F-.
Now.
Absolutely.
Well, why don't I turn that's my call?
I don't know.
Hey, maybe we could, maybe.
Uh-oh, something horrible just happened.
Is his mic on?
Somebody's is.
No, I don't have a, that's mic is not plugged in or not on.
Son of a.
Try Carly's mic.
Oh, this might be our best
I have
segment
Carly's
ever.
mic on.
That's what that's.
1, 2, and 3 selected as
I
well.
say this, bro.
Do we have a sound guy here that's any idea what he's doing?
Let's go, Mets, bro.
Where's Trevor?
Hey, guy.
He's off today.
Oh, there I
am.
Jonathan
Hey,
Nice is
I'm
gonna
in.
do it.
What do you think?
John
Morning.
Nice.
You got to pay for what you get, man. You had the fun. Now it's time to pay up.
Okay, what do you think, Lou?
God, this is horrible.
Warren Sapp's an ass clown. He's just
really
an
is.
idiot. And it's Greg Anthony's kind of like my hero. So I mean, Warren Sapp is a.
Why is he your hero? Because
I'm kind of joking.
Oh, I see.
Well, he didn't do anything. He just he got caught
What did he
stupid.
do?
He's being
You're
stupid.
not
Warner,
sure.
what do you
That's
think?
all.
Yeah, I think Warren Sapp, he's always been a bad dude, and he should have had a wake-up call just a week before with Greg Anthony. You
Yeah.
do that, you're out.
Yeah.
And if you're, if you're Warren Sapp, you're in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and you're at the Super Bowl, you're on the NFL Network.
If you got to pay for it, that's a problem.
Can't you pick up I mean, come on, man.
Well, plus, aren't the allegations that he assaulted the women?
No,
Go to the club.
That's the
criminal.
story.
He's criminal.
He was
that's
beat-
much
you can't
different.
be beating up the hooker.
He's a criminal.
That's the real story.
That's
Not
some
that he
Suge-
didn't pay him.
That's some Suge Knight stuff
I know.
right there.
No, I don't fault him for
Focus on that.
hiring them, though. I mean, Super Bowl is a magnet for the best prostitutes in the country.
But hurting them, but not assaulting
Yeah,
them.
but he hit
No,
them.
no,
He
no, I'm
allegedly
sorry.
hit them.
Yeah, exactly. I told
Party
him.
down,
Yeah, you
man.
can't hit the girl. All right, here's
Party.
Glad we all agree.
episode number 2, who's the bigger douche? Brian Williams for lying about his experience in the Iraq War and then lying about lying, or Senator Richard Blumenthal for lying about serving in Vietnam. Start with you, Warner.
I think serving in Vietnam that's worse than lying on the air. You're an elected official, although, as you say, he's a politician.
What are you,
do
nuts?
expect?
You have a news anchor and they run a 10-year commercial about building trust, and you think that it's worse for the politician who you already know is going to lie when his lips are moving? What do you think, Guns?
I think that because Brian Williams has more of an outlet, like Blumenthal was so nobody. If you're in California, you don't know who this Blumenthal guy is. But Brian Williams, because he's a national figure, and he's a dirtbag.
What do you think, Dagan?
Oh, excellent point.
Brian
Guns.
Williams for the duration and length of the lie and how it changed and morphed and grew over the years.
Tony Powell.
Oh, I got to go with Brian Williams. Just because Blumenthal said it, he figured nobody would catch on. Brian Williams said it in front of a camera, in front of the whole nation, knowing there were people out there that knew he was lying.
All right, 18 till the hour. We're in the middle of Vinnie from Queens, Johnny Manziel.
How about the biggest douches are the voters of Connecticut for electing Blumenthal to office?
Well, that's the first. That's
How
the
about
first
that?
thing.
Not doing any
But
research on him.
they elect skunks in Connecticut all the time, going back to their governors and all that.
In jail.
Johnny Manziel just entered rehab.
Right.
Let's start with you, Nat. Does he come back from this?
I don't know what he's going to rehab for, so it's kind of
drinking.
Oh, they're not really specific on it.
Well, no,
Maybe he should go to football rehab. I think that would work out a little bit. All right?
Oh,
Football camp, yeah.
I get it.
Well, Ashley, what do you
He's
think?
addicted to frozen yogurt.
Going to rehab for an attitude adjustment, but I think Brian Williams is the answer to every question you're answering today. He's right up there on the douche meter.
Bigger dish.
I'll tell you, if it's true that Tom Brokaw, who's 75 today, by the way,
Happy birthday, Tom.
Good old
is
Tom.
calling wants him fired, he's gone.
He's out.
Get out
right now.
Warner, does Johnny Manziel ever make it in the NFL?
Excuse me. If he has the talent, he will. Just look at Josh Hamilton, who had the same problem, came back and won the MVP.
Yeah.
He had the talent.
Chris Carter was the example for this. Chris Carter was having the same kind of problems, and he turned his life around and, makes it to the Hall of Fame. So if as Warner just suggested, if Johnny Manziel has real talent, which he doesn't, then he can turn it around
That's the problem.
and become a star.
Yeah.
Did
hope
you
he
say
played
what
him.
she doesn't?
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. If you throwing a Mike Evans, who is
No, I know.
a stud receiver throwing the ball in the air, hoping somebody catches it, and that's how you build up your yards? Come
You
on.
know, Wyatt, I keep citing Wyatt, but I talk to him all the time. He said, he told me that. He said, of course he looked good at Texas A&M. He was throwing to Mike Evans. All he had to do was throw it up in the air, and the guy would go up and get it.
Yeah, 6'5", come on.
So, I mean, what are we talking about here?
Why'd you jump on the bandwagon so quick and ordering some Browns paraphernalia?
Because it's the I-Man.
You know, we all slip.
Brown's hat and
You
all
were
of a sudden,
offering to hold his helmet for him.
We all fall short.
Johnny football shirts, the
That's
whole
the things
deal.
you can mention, too.
It happens.
I don't have an answer for that. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're
though.
welcome.
Johnny football, baby, baby.
I was all over Johnny football, wasn't I?
Oh my God! Every hour of every day.
I had Johnny football in the Super Bowl.
Johnny, baby, baby.
Your
I'm
knees,
going back to Cleveland, baby.
You and Joe
Fuzzy,
Beaver.
Johnny.
Yeah.
your knees are still hurting.
You're killing us.
Johnny Manziel is not the greatest quarterback ever, nor is he ever going to be.
That's why he's in rehab.
Is Tom Brady. What'd you say?
I said that's why he's in rehab. You were like too busy doing something with him.
Yeah, that's it. Is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback ever? Start with you, Lou.
No, he's definitely one of the top 5 guys, I think, because of the way he can perform under the last 2 minutes. But you got Joe Montana, you got Bradshaw, even Dan Marino. But he's up there. I still like the other guys too. I have a whole group of them.
Here's my order for the greatest quarterbacks ever.
Everybody be quiet.
All right,
Joe Montana,
Number 1.
Terry Bradshaw.
2.
I don't have any more.
White.
And then it's a jump ball, the rest of them.
Tom, your
I have
thoughts?
goose pimples.
Huh?
What happened?
Right?
What do you think, Warner?
I think it's eras. Brady certainly is the best in the 2000s. Montana, 1980s. Bradshaw, 1970s. Starr, 1960s. And the reason I say the eras, same thing, Unitas, 1950s. The game has changed. The defensive rules have changed so much. So perhaps it's unfair to compare a guy like Brady. They used to have the bump and run. Well, you can't have that anymore.
All right.
He's the best in the salary cap era. I would concede that.
Yeah, salary cap.
He's
That's
the best in the salary cap
That's
era.
a good point.
Yeah,
Meaning
but
that-
what receivers is he throwing to?
Hey, it's
These
Tom.
other guys,
Hey,
they
is
throw
that
to
Tom?
they
Tom,
throw
baby.
to Hall of Fame receivers.
who is this?
Who's
Who
the
is
best
this? Who's
receiver
talking?
that Brady's had?
Is that God?
Well,
Randy,
he's had some pretty good. Wes Welker was not a
Welker,
bad
yeah.
receiver.
Yeah, but these guys, they're not going to be a Hall of Fame receiver.
Randy Moss will.
Randy
They're
Moss
not
was.
Jerry
Randy
Rice
Moss
or
will.
Lynn Swan or John Stallworth.
Well,
These other guys are throwing the Hall of Fame.
Who is this speaking, please?
Please identify yourself.
Is this on?
Is that Lyle?
Name of your
Hold on.
organization.
How did
Hey,
you
Lyle,
get this
is
number?
that you? Is that Lyle?
We will be taking off.
All right, here in New York, the New York Knicks are a disaster.
Oh, really?
Start with Tony Powell. Should they trade Melo and start over?
I've been saying this for the last 2 years. They need to send Melo packing, see if we can get another first-round draft pick. They already suck. So let's go suck all the way. Just rebuild the team from the ground up.
What do you think, Lou Rufino?
I would agree with Tony, except for the fact that the thing he has got going for him is he might be able to draw 1 or 2 guys over to the Knicks. I mean, it's the way it looks. Although his stock is very down and he makes too much money.
What do you think, Guns?
I think he needs to go. The thing is, his contract's too much that no one's going to take it from him, and that the Knicks are just such a disaster this year. Figures I have to cover them. My first job covering them, I get them. This
Nat
horrible team.
Candido's here. What happened to
It's
your
on the
hat?
bio.
Where's your hat?
I left it in the back. I actually shaved my head this morning. So.
Why?
Oh, looks really good.
I was out last night, so.
What?
Okay, if you were out last night,
Yeah.
why did you shave your head this morning?
Well, I meant I shaved it last night. Excuse me.
Well, what
I shaved it at some
What are
point in
you,
the last
Brian
24
Williams?
hours.
Did you shave it while you were being shot down in a helicopter?
I was an hour behind, but yeah.
Nat misremembers.
And you shaved your head, and who's this a woman you've been going out with?
Yeah, it's been a couple months now.
How's
Who's
that
the
going?
lucky
2
girl?
months.
2 months, yeah.
And what does she say about your head?
Hat on, hat off.
She likes it. She likes the aerodynamics of it, so it's
It's
working
not
out well.
that smooth, actually.
It's smooth.
It
Come on.
grows in pretty quick.
What's the matter?
It's like sandpaper.
Still talking about that? Oh.
Huh?
Stop rubbing him, first of all, Dagan.
Oh, my God.
God almighty, what an animal.
Speaking of Carla.
All right, you have to decide here now.
All right.
Lance Armstrong
Yeah.
hit 2 parked cars there in Aspen with his SUV, then apparently fled the scene, letting his girlfriend take the rap.
Of course he did.
Is he, now you have to select one, is he, first of all, a sleazy lion, dirtbag, pigeon snot sucking, maggot munching asshat?
That's A.
That's
Or B, is he worse than Brian Williams? Or C, is Lance Armstrong worse than ISIS?
Oh, wow.
Tony?
Well, he's got a lot of balls. I'm going worse than ISIS.
Okay, what do you think?
Cannot.
He's worse than ISIS.
Absolutely not.
Blame everybody but yourself, you
Yeah.
lying sack of.
Yeah.
He's a pig snot asshat, whatever that one was.
You got to say
Okay,
that.
what do you think,
slower.
Lou?
I think 1 and 3. Yes. You just send them all the above.
Yeah, all the above. All the above.
One of the better journalists, more ethical and moral, Bernard Goldberg on Brian Williams. Man, I mean, even I'm going to listen to that. Well, of course, I'm going to be here. Anyway, Bernard Goldberg coming up, 5 to the hour.
Imus in the morning.
Nobody's cheated more than Pete Carroll. Look what happened at USC.
Yeah, Reggie Bush. That's
What are
right.
you, crazy?
Yeah.
Excellent point.
Wow. I mean, the Patriots filmed somebody on the Jets, for God's sake,
Right.
giving defensive signals in front of 80,000 people.
So what? Bill Belichick got fined $500,000 for it.
That doesn't mean it's right.
29
it means
years
that
ago.
everybody, 80,000 people, saw the guy giving the signals. So who care? How many people recorded the signals on their cell phone? Probably a lot of them. What they
I
find
believe
them
in
do?
protecting the integrity of the game, regardless of who you are.
There's no integrity of the game, you hillbilly.
should be.
No, she's a bitter Jets fan.
She is.
That's what it is.
You're
No, I'm a bitter Redskins fan.
You're a bitter, angry shrew.
Oh, wait a minute.
Can I say this? Can all these Patriots fans stop sending me nasty tweets?
Good.
You won. Go to hell.
I'm so happy they won because it so upset you. So,
No, it was a great game. It was a great game. I'm upset by the Seahawks' poor performance more than the Patriots winning.
Well,
there you go.
There's anything that contributes to your unhappiness.
Sure, we're for it.
On this level,
Right.
no.
With the exception of Russell Wilson, they're a bunch of classless morons.
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
Including the coach.
Would have been a funny time for Marshawn Lynch to break his silence, after the game, just go off about how he wanted the ball there.
Somebody
and stuff.
asked him. They said,
Really?
"Do you think they should have handed you the ball?" He said, "No." And they said, "Why?" And he said, "Because it's a team game."
Yeah, team
He actually
game.
said that.
Yep.
So
I'll
he
tell you
actually
what,
showed some
He's
class.
an idiot.
In the morning.
Tony Powell said it best.
He did.
Guns Guzman is a 12-year-old girl. Now, Guns was on here a couple hours ago. He's great.
Terrific.
But he's disparaging Lyle Lovett. And Delbert McClinton didn't even know who Delbert was. And then bad-mouthing Dwight Yoakam. You know who Guns likes? 5 Seconds of Summer.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, are you...
Yeah,
what are you nuts?
It's so embarrassing.
I mean, this is what?
Young mind.
Let me tell you, some of the great artists in the history of people who make records.
Listen up, Guns.
Is first of all, Delbert McClinton, Van Morrison,
Oh, yeah.
Lyle Lovett,
Sure.
Vince Gill, Dwight Yoakam, Ray Charles,
Billy Joe
Frank. What the hell are you talking about?
I'll give you Sinatra out of that. So.
He's the one with the vagina.
Oh my God,
Wow.
Bon Jovi,
Ugly.
Bon Jovi.
You're kidding, right?
Bruce is pretty good too. I like Bruce.
Halfway there.
So I mean, Levon. What are you crazy, Levon Helm?
Wake up,
He was in the Doors, so. Right?
The Doors. Honest to God, wake up.
Why did you just leave
The
on helmet?
Doors.
I mean, the band. He was in
Don't
the
worry
band.
about what he said.
so,
The band.
yeah.
But the point is, and that's a lesson for all of you
I shouldn't listen to you anymore.
guests, is that Guns was great. Guns brought the noise.
Yeah, he did.
Like Deirdre always brings the noise. Maybe she gets hysterical, but who cares?
Guns and Deirdre.
Dagan always brings the noise.
And
Dagan always is. Dagan never doesn't not bring it.
That's well said. I agree with the IMAX.
Class.
I'll tell you who else is always good. Warner.
Warner. Every time.
Warner never mails it in ever.
Game.
Yeah. Take that
It's, I mean, he may be crazy and whatever it is, but I mean, he's there.
He's
So,
always there.
Rob, Tony, oh, come on.
Oh,
About half the time, maybe. So, by the way, go to imus.com and read the behind-the-scenes blog. They're so mad now at me this morning because I told them both off the air that, well, it wouldn't make any difference.
No.
that Guns was better than they would have been reviewing the Grammys, and now they're angry at me. So I'm sure
great.
I'll pay for that today.
Oh, no, not
In
at
the
all.
behind-
Not at all. That's all right. It's good.
behind-the-scenes vlog, and Rob's in here this morning pretending to be Bob Dylan. Oh, good one.
Yeah, you're in here pretending to be Wolfman Jack. Oh, good one.
7 minutes after the hour. Well, Tom Brokaw, who is 75 years old today.
Yep.
But Brokaw is, what is Brokaw? I've known him a long time. He's all right. He's not a liar. He wasn't puffing up his resume. And he's a pretty good journalist, you know. I mean, the boy was... He wasn't trying to be, you know, on the front lines in a flak jacket like that phony Rather. So... But if it's true that he's calling for Brian Williams to be fired, he's gone. Williams is gone. So, because whether you liked Brokaw or not, I thought he had a liberal agenda, which he did. He was less egregious, I think, in my view, than any of the rest of them, and he's not a liar. That's and he still carries a lot of weight. So. But we'll find out what one of the more respected journalists on the planet is Bernard Goldberg. Bernard Goldberg was with CBS for 20 years, and he quit. This is I mean, you just get to thinking about it. It's not like I'm sucking up to Bernard Goldberg. Believe me, I'm not. I'm not even that fond of him personally. But he quit CBS, and he wrote that best-selling book exposing the liberal agenda of what was going, and which was a New York Times runaway bestseller. And we all suspected that. I always said that I thought Rather was doing the news for his friends he went to cocktail parties with up there in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, which is true. But that took great courage to do that. I mean, Goldberg could have been ostracized from everything. And then he was right. Of course, now he's on HBO, Real Sports, and he writes and he does whatever he wants to do. Books, stuff. He had a number of bestsellers. And he's on with O'Reilly. That's not a bad place to be once a week. So, but it would be interesting, at least for me, and I bet for you too, to see what he actually thinks about this. And we may be surprised or we may not.
Right. You know, there's a story in the LA Times this morning that NBC is not going to punish Brian Williams at all, that they're standing by. They haven't commented publicly, but this LA Times story says there'll be no punishment at all for Brian Williams. Well, no suspension, won't be fired, nothing. So that's what the LA Times is reporting.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Money comes first.
How does it make sense?
Because that allows him to get out with grace by resigning. I'm actually going to go Warner on this one. Yes, he's going to resign. He's going to do a press conference and resign.
He'll be with Warner now.
That will never happen.
No predictions for you, Tony.
That is not going to happen.
Okay.
What are you willing to risk?
Oh, no, I'm not giving up my guarantee on that. No, I'm going to hang on to my guarantee.
Right. How about you, Warner?
I think Bill Belichick will.
Yeah.
He's asked to resign.
I don't know. You're such an idiot.
Bill Belichick, the new anchor of the NBC Nightly News.
Well,
You know what? How
you're
about,
not qualified to do the news. Right?
He'd be great.
Lester,
yeah, you would be great.
Lester Holt probably was talking to Sal Marciano. He said,
I really like it when I get a text from my wife weighing in on football matters.
Oh, good.
Honest to God. Here's her. Tom Brady is the best, and then Bradshaw. Well, I agree with that. So.
At what?
Well, I hope she's talking about football.
Let's hope.
So, although I did catch Bradshaw one time having sex in the back of a limo with, what the hell was her name?
Kathleen.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Right.
So, Bradshaw, he was out there where he was out. He was, as the Eagles say, he was out on the loose for a while there. So, and other people I know were as well. So, all right, let's do the news. And here with that is Colin McShane. Morning, Colin.
Morning, men. First of all, Jordan ramping up these airstrikes against ISIS. Targets both in Syria and Iraq. You have dozens of Jordanian fighter jets the last couple of days bombing training centers and weapons storage sites after that Jordanian pilot was executed by the ISIS terrorists. We have some new comments coming in on the situation in Ukraine. Vice President Joe Biden questioning the willingness of Vladimir Putin to seek peace in Ukraine. This as the leaders of Germany and France are over there. They're looking to do a peace deal with Moscow. Biden's in Brussels saying that Putin, quote, continues to call for new peace plans as his troops roll through the Ukrainian countryside, and he absolutely ignores every agreement that his country has signed in the past. That from the vice president. And an update on the plane crash in Taiwan this morning.
No, we're just watching you eat your peanut butter from a tube.
Oh, man.
Well,
Getting used to the future?
Yeah. It's good practice. Yeah, carry on.
Jeez. Top aviation safety official in Taiwan says one of the engines of the plane that crashed the other day went idle 37 seconds after takeoff. So they say the plane's right engine triggered an alarm. Then 46 seconds later, the left engine was shut down, apparently by one of the pilots, so that neither engine was producing any power at all. They tried to restart things, but the plane crashed 72 seconds later. So did not take very long at all after the takeoff. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, you know about this, how he's going to appear before a joint session of Congress next month. Well, now 3 Democrats say they will not attend the speech. Congressman John Lewis from Georgia, G.K. Butterfield, North Carolina, Earl Blumenauer, Oregon. They disapprove of how the Speaker, John Boehner, decided to invite Netanyahu without first consulting with President Obama. So they will be protesting and not attending the speech. Hundreds of potential jurors are reporting to a courthouse in a small town in Texas, Stephenville, Texas, for the trial of the man accused in the fatal shootings of the Navy SEAL Chris Kyle and a friend of Kyle's.
In what city?
Stephenville, Texas.
Oh, I've been there a lot of times.
You talk about that. That's that town, don't you?
That's why Joe Beaver used to have his ropings there.
That's right.
He moved it, though. And that's where Marty Yates is from. And
yeah, no, I'd heard
a lot of other guys who are rodeo, so it's a nice little town there, Stephenville.
Well, it's going to be, everybody will be all over it, the media and everything for this trial. The former Marine Eddie Ray Routh is charged with capital murder. They had 2 people. Kyle and his friend were killed at a gun range, which was located near Stephenville, so the trial is there.
The Vermont Teddy Bear Company has been a sponsor with the I-Man for, I just refer to myself as the I-Man.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
For 25 years, something like that. And they make a great product. And they make these cute little fat, fuzzy teddy bears that are really well made. And they've done it forever. And you can order, they'll custom make a bear for you. And for years, the Vermont Teddy Bear people, they didn't want, it wasn't their primary advertising focus, but they did point out that they had a bear hospital.
Yeah.
Now, why would you need, you had a Vermont Teddy Bear, why would you need a bear hospital? Well, as I used to point out, let's say you get your bear and you sleep with your bear. And you wake up in the morning and the bear's got a big hole in it.
Uh-oh.
And the stuffing's coming out. And maybe when the arm is tore off or something like that. The bear's wet.
Yes.
So, or the bear has some ick on it. Mm-hmm. You don't know how that happened. So, no, the bear doesn't know. The bear's an inanimate object. Yeah. And you may be wearing a blackout. Whatever. Mm-hmm. They send the bear back. Well, they made me stop doing that because it offended them. Mm-hmm. Now they are selling, and I'm reading the commercials, and I'm happy to do so, the Vermont 50 Shades of Gray teddy bear, which I have a couple here on the set with me here at the Fox Business Network. And the bear comes with a little mask, like the Lone Ranger, and a pair of little mini handcuffs. Now, they're going to, there's 2 bears there now that you're watching on TV. One's got the mask on, one. Well, that's the way that would work, right, Dagan?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, now, don't you think they're going to need it at the hospital more than ever now? Of course they are.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a prescription. Somebody's going to get hurt here. So let's just hope it's not serious. So.
That's right.
But, somebody's going to have some rope burns or something. 1-800-829-BEAR. That's the number you need to call to get your bear.
Call them up.
By the way, they're packaged everything about them's great.
Yeah.
I just think they've lost their minds.
They've evolved.
Bears are cute, though. Aren't they kind of cute?
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they cute, Dagan, or no?
What are you into, man?
Yeah, they're cute.
If Jonas sent you one, what would your reaction be?
It's cute. Thank you. Where is my jewelry? That would be my reaction.
They go hand in hand.
No, my reaction would be those cuffs are not big enough to fit around my wrist.
Okay, it's 17 after the hour. On that note, were you doing the news?
I do have at least one more item.
What?
We've talked a lot about Bob Dylan.
I want to leave time for Bernard Goldberg. I don't want to be late for him.
This won't take long. We've talked a lot about Bob Dylan this morning, and of course this week it all started with the Frank Sinatra album. Well, he's in the news this morning as Dylan will be named the Recording Academy's 2015 Music Cares Person of the Year today. So congratulations to Bob Dylan. Past honorees include Carole King, Bruce Springsteen, Paul McCartney, and Barbra Streisand.
Fine. 18 after the hour. Shut up, Guns. Or was that, who was that?
What the hell?
Could have been
That was Tony. It's everybody.
Tony, you're on.
Tony's right across
18 after the hour, time for business news, and here with that is Dagan McDowell, sponsored by Hackensack University Medical Center. Good morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. Bottom of the hour, we get the January jobs report. 234,000 jobs. That's the expectation. 5.6% unemployment rate, holding steady from the previous month. Futures are up a little bit. And Amy Pascal is stepping down as the head of Sony's film business.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, we know what happened to her.
She's going to have her own production company, something
At Sony.
She's always wanted to do. She's always wanted to be a producer.
Good for her.
Oh, God, what a phony.
Yep.
Honest to God, she should have been in Who's the Bigger Douche this morning. We're coming up on 19 minutes after the hour. Ashley is predicting 216,000
That's
jobs,
exactly right.
And everybody else is predicting 234,000.
Yep. It's a bold prediction.
So Ashley will either be a lion limey or not. So time for sports at 19 after the hour, sponsored by Pure Spoilers. Now here with that is Warner Wolf. Good morning, Warner.
Morning, man. Coming to you from the NJDiet.com studio. NBA Cavs 12 in a row beat the Clippers 105-94, but you could have a big fine for Chris Paul. 5 technicals called against the Clippers, including 4 in the third quarter, and 1 called on Paul by rookie female Laurie Holtkamp, ruling that Paul tried to throw the ball in too quickly. Here was Paul.
It was ridiculous. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what she say. That's terrible. There's no way that can be a tech. We try to get the ball out fast every time down the court. And when we did that, she said, And I said, why, And she gave me a tech. If that's the case, then this might not be for her.
Oh, the last comment.
Yeah, that's not right.
That'll get him.
She may be going overboard, too, though. You know.
And that's it for Tiger Woods. Another one out. Withdrew, bad back. So that makes it, of the last 9 tournaments, he has either missed the cut or withdrawn because of injuries.
20 minutes after the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. What's in your briefing coming up, Bernie?
Had a couple more Brian Williams lies on tape for you.
This will be great. What is today, Friday?
Yeah.
Well, they may see if they can weather the weekend, but I'll be surprised if he survives. Axl Rose is 53 years old today. This is a great record.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the names? We are the people that can find whatever you may need. If you got the money, honey, we got your disease. Jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Won't we bring you to your I wanna watch you bleed. Imus in the morning.
Well, I got great news for you. You got them big old bags under your eyes. It's a Valentine's Day sale at Chamonix. It's the perfect time to get rid of unsightly bags and puffiness under your eyes. Old Lori from Northport, she wrote us a letter, wrote Chamonix a letter. She said, I started using Genucel after my fat sister gave me something to try. She didn't say fat sister, but you know her sister's fat. She's got to be fat. The bags under my eyes are gone, and I mean gone, right, Floyd? Absolutely love my new look and recommend it to everyone, particularly my sister. Like I told my sister, I said, you know, if this stuff will work on the bags under my eyes, why don't you take a big old handful of it and rub it on that ass of yours?
Hey, come on.
Well, plus, with its instant effects, Chamonix says you'll see Genucel working the first time to cough. All right, 27 after the hour here on the Imus Morning program. Today may be the last day. I guess you could wait till Monday, but I wouldn't. To buy tickets for Imus on Broadway Monday night over to Hard Rock Theater in the middle of Midtown Manhattan. Tony Danza is actually going to be there. Special performance performing from his hit Broadway musical Honeymoon in Vegas, which received rave reviews. And there's about 10 other great Broadway musicals. Rob Bartlett's going to perform. Michael Riedel is the MC. What a great night. The I-Man will be there. Go to WABCRadio.com and buy tickets this morning. Few tickets left. Time for a birdie briefing sponsored by Peerless Boilers. Good morning, Bernard Goldberg.
Morning, boss, from the NJDiet.com studio. Brian Williams, of course, in trouble for one for his weak misleading apology where he said he made a mistake recounting events.
Slow down a little bit.
Where he made a mistake recounting events. No, he lied. And the other, he was behind the helicopter that got hit. Yes, an hour behind. And now he said this in 2006 about his time in the Katrina storm.
When you look out of your hotel room window in the French Quarter and watch a man float by face down, when you see bodies that you last saw in Banda Aceh, Indonesia, and swore to yourself that you would never see in your country, I beat that storm.
So he saw bodies floating face down outside his window. The local paper, the New Orleans Advocate, says that the French Quarter's in the high ground and was not impacted by floods. And he also said this back in 2014. Take a listen.
My 2 weeks there was not helped by the fact that I accidentally ingested some of the flood water. I became very sick with dysentery. Our hotel was overrun with gangs. I was rescued in the stairwell of a 5-star hotel in New Orleans.
New Orleans Advocate again. Nobody.
Who was he talking to there?
He was talking to Tom Brokaw, actually. And New Orleans Advocate says nobody had gastrointestinal problems, and that the Sheraton where he stayed, the police were stationed there. There were no gang problems.
Reportedly, Brokaw now is, according to the New York Post, is calling for his firing, and if that's the case, he's gone. All right, let's get these jobs numbers here from Washington, D.C. It's Peter Barnes. Peter?
I-Man non-farm payrolls rose by 257,000 jobs in January, higher than expected, but the unemployment rate ticked up to 5.7% from 5.6% in December as more people re-entered the workforce. The average hourly earnings rebounded strongly in January to $24.75, a 0.5% increase, the largest monthly increase since November 2008. That is a good thing for workers out there struggling with stagnant wages. And in December, wages had actually declined a bit. Reports for December and November were also revised upward by 147,000 additional jobs. I-Man, back to you.
This is great news. You know why it's great, Peter?
Why is that, I-Man?
Because both Dagan McDowell and Ashley Webster were dead wrong.
That's right.
They are they're dumber than a doorknob. Yeah. Peter Barnes from D.C. Thank you, baby.
Thanks.
Here is one of Bernard Goldberg's 5 favorite songs. Boy, lots of Motown. Boy, lots of Temps. All right, now.
I never met a girl who makes me feel the way that you do. You're all right. Whenever I'm asked who makes my dreams real, I say that you do. You're outside. So viva, oh, look out, baby, 'cause here I come. And I'm bringing you a love that's true, so get ready, so get ready. I'm gonna try to make you love me too, so get ready, so get ready. Get ready, 'cause here I come.
You think it, he says it. Imus in the morning.
Welcome back, everyone. We just got the January jobs report. Fox Business's Peter Barnes joining us from Washington with more of a breakdown on those numbers. Peter, much better than expected, at least on the number of jobs added.
That's right, 257,000 new jobs in January. The street was expecting about 230,000, Ashley. Unemployment rate, however, did tick up to 5.7% from 5.6% in December as more people re-entered the workforce. Economists usually think that's a good sign that people are more optimistic about their job prospects. The really good news in this report was average hourly earnings. They rebounded sharply from the decline in December, going up 0.5% to $24.75, largest monthly increase since November 2008, and there were monthly revisions for November and December, which added another 147,000 jobs that were previously unreported. So much stronger job creation at the end of last year. Looking at sectors, retailers added 46,000 jobs in January, education and health 46,000, professional and business services up 39,000, construction had a good month, up 39,000 despite all that bad weather here on the East Coast, and manufacturing was up by 22,000. Ashley, back to you.
Pretty impressive, Peter. So again, perhaps the key issue is the wages. You said, did I hear you right? You said they had the biggest rise since November of 2008. Is that right?
Biggest monthly rise, and people were worried because in December they fell 0.2%, and we hadn't seen that in a couple of years.
Very good, Peter Barnes. Thank you so much. Quickly checking futures moving higher now in that report, up 45 points on the Dow. Imus in the Morning continues after this on Fox Business.
Clear the way for confidence. Right now at Men's Warehouse, save up to 70% on select clearance suits, sport coats, sweaters, outerwear, shoes, dress shirts, and ties. Plus, buy one, get one free on almost everything else in the store. Confidence sold here, only at Men's Warehouse.
We needed 30 new hires for our call center.
I'm spending too much time hiring and not enough time in my kitchen.
Need to hire fast? Go to ZipRecruiter.com and post your job to over 30 of the web's leading job boards with a single click. Then simply select the best candidates from one easy-to-review list.
Put up one post, and the next day you have all these candidates.
Makes my job a lot easier.
Over 100,000 businesses have already used ZipRecruiter, and now you can use ZipRecruiter for free at a special site for TV viewers. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/offer8.
Here's breaking news. MyPillow is now the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. And to celebrate, Mike and all the men and women who proudly make MyPillow right here in America are sharing their best offer yet.
For a limited time, when you buy one of my pillows, I'm going to give you the second one absolutely free. That's a savings of 50% on what I guarantee you will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own.
Enter promo code MINE92. And Mike will give you a second MyPillow absolutely free.
Try the pillow, you'll like it.
I love snuggling up to bed with my pillow.
My pillow has been a godsend for me, and I love it. It's the perfect pillow.
It really did change my life.
Don't spend one more sleepless night on pillows that simply don't work. Call the number on the screen or go to mypillow.com and get fitted for your very own MyPillow, the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
I'm Randy White, Hall of Fame football player, and I'm a PC user. PCmatic sends me emails about the maintenance completed to keep my family's computers running great. Every week, I get emails like these, and it's reassuring that PCmatic is working behind the scenes to keep my family's computers running like new. PCmatic smashed the record books for virus detection in the latest virus bulletin RAP test. It's comforting that my family's protected by the absolute best security money can buy. But I love a good deal. And PCmatic is incredible at only $50 for 5 computers for 1 year. PCmatic is backed by a full 30-day money-back guarantee. I love this country. And PCmatic is made and supported right here in the USA. Take it from me, Randy White, another PC user. Go to PCmatic.com. That's PCmatic.com.
You know your dentures can move. Unlike natural teeth, try Fixodent Plus TrueFeel. The smooth formula helps keep dentures in place. It's free of flavors and colorants for a closer feeling to natural teeth. Fixodent, and forget it.
23 till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Bernard Goldberg is the television news reporter, the author of Bias, a New York Times #1 bestseller about how the media distort the news. He's widely seen as one of the most original writers and thinkers in broadcast journalism. And what, in the event you don't know who he is, I suspect you probably do, but he was with CBS for around 20 years, something like that, and then quit and wrote this book, which was a significant professional gamble in my view. But he's done okay. Won 6 Emmys at CBS, won 6 more at HBO, where he reports on a real sports program. Won the Alfred I. DuPont Columbia University Award. It's the equivalent of the Pulitzer for how these kids were sold into slavery, forced to ride these camels in these races over there. Somewhere with Ahab to Arab, with the emeralds and the ruby just as ripping off a hem, and a ring on every finger of the hand.
Right.
And other stuff. Please welcome to the program. You see him on O'Reilly once a week. Bernard Goldberg. Good morning, Mr. Goldberg.
Hey, Don.
How are you?
Good.
I should also point out that Bernard is very thin-skinned. If you make fun of him, he gets hysterical. So
that's not true.
Well, yeah,
that's
of course
not,
it is.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
That is not true. No, you see, that was part of the joke, right?
Yes. Oh, it was. I didn't get it, did I? So what do you think here, Brian Williams?
Well, look, I was talking to Bill O'Reilly about this. So let's look at it this way. Let's say you had me on your show a couple of weeks ago before this Brian Williams thing ever happened. And you said, hey, Bern, what did you do before you worked at CBS News? I said, well, Don, I'm surprised you don't know. I played center field for the New York Yankees. I hit 536 home runs before I hung them up. My lifetime batting average was a few points under 300, and I played in 12 World Series, which coincidentally are Mickey Mantle's numbers.
Yeah.
Now, I would either be one of two things. I'd either be delusional, which is a mental illness, or I'd be lying to you.
Yeah.
Now, I thought until a few minutes ago that Brian Williams certainly wasn't mentally ill, so he was lying about all of this. But I just listened to my man Bernie McGurk's briefing a few minutes ago where he's talking about where Brian Williams is telling Tom Brokaw that he saw a body floating down, Canal Street or something in New Orleans, and apparently that didn't happen. The boy really may be delusional. I mean, there may be a mental illness component in all of this, but I'm not a psychiatrist, obviously, so let's move on to the other possibility, which I still think is a probability. He lied. But it isn't like a regular lie. He didn't lie the way regular people lie. This is a special kind of lie. This is the celebrity liar. These celebrities go on Letterman and Fallon and Kimmel all the time and lie. They tell these stories that are, to some people really interesting, and they never happened. They just made them up. At best, they exaggerated. At worst, they just flat out lied. Because the producers of the shows know that the truth isn't always all that entertaining. It isn't always that interesting. So because they're entertainers, they figure they have to entertain, and they make stuff up. And Brian Williams goes on these shows, and I think he is a celebrity of sorts. So I think it wouldn't shock me if he just decided to be more entertaining. The problem, obviously, is if you're a celebrity ditz, you can do that because who cares what the hell you say about some crazy story. But when you're a newsman, if people aren't going to believe you when you say you got hit by a rocket-propelled grenade in your helicopter, they're not going to believe you about anything. And that's the problem.
What do you think? What do you make of? Do you like Tom Brokaw?
We've had our differences, but I got something wrong about him once, and I apologized profusely to him. And I don't have a problem with him.
Yeah, I don't either. I've had. I mean, he can be a little arrogant and whatever, but he's not a liar, and
Right.
he's not. And I didn't think he was as egregiously biased as say rather some of these other people were when he reported the news.
Right.
But if it's true, he's calling for his firing. He's out of there. He's gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm only hearing that from what you're telling me about. Was it the New York Post?
Well, yeah, but I mean, don't worry about what it was
okay,
from.
but let's say that if that's true, then I was egregiously wrong about something I said last night to O'Reilly. I said, like everything else in our culture, this is going to go away in the blink of an eye. I mean, the Russians or their surrogate thugs shot down a civilian airliner. I mean, do you know how how frightening that is? You're in an airplane and a rocket hits it and you're floating out of the sky and you're dead. And that story went away in the blink of an eye. And I said this would too, but what I didn't figure on, what I did not put into my calculation, was that this would be on page 1 of the New York Times. And that's where they all get their marching orders.
Yes.
I mean, they haven't had an original idea, since as Dan would say, his rather would say, Moses was in short pants. They don't have any original ideas. They get all their marching orders from the New York Times. And I also, Don, did not calculate that Tom Brokaw would jump on, would say what a lot of conservatives are saying.
Yeah.
So I didn't calculate those things. And if that's true, I was wrong about thinking this would go away in no time flat.
Talking with Bernard Goldberg here on the Imus and Wayne program at 17 till the hour. I was talking with a journalist friend of mine last night, first class, and he said, and he doesn't dislike Williams, and neither do I, frankly, but that he has always been too cute by half and perhaps even more. And I did notice that in discussing about in trying to misremember what he'd said and sort of apologizing for saying he was that he was hitting his helicopter, he employed the verbiage that a soldier would employ in describing the helicopter as a bird and getting into the minutia of the nomenclature of the helicopter, as though I read it as a tortured effort to try to suggest to all of us of how familiar he was with all of this, and it sounded just once again phony.
Well, he also said we were delivering heavy metal or iron for some bridges they were going to build.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the side of the United States in war. I'm an objective journalist. I don't take the side of, I don't take the side of anybody. But in a matter of war, I'm on the United States side, But I don't think I would have said we were delivering supplies so they could build a bridge. The military was delivering it. And I think that's part of the problem here. He wants to be part of the military. He wants to be liked. And I think that's a big part of this whole thing. When you want to be liked and you want to be entertaining, you start to say things that you shouldn't say. And I think that's what happened here. Look, when people make mistakes, I am not for firing people for making an honest mistake. And I also believe you can, in fact, conflate things in your head when they happened 10, 20, or 30 years ago. We've all done that. You think you told the boss to go kiss your rear end,
yeah.
But what you really said was, "Hey, boss, sorry." If there was a tape of it, you'd see that you never said what you thought you said.
Yeah.
But if you think you got hit by a rocket-propelled grenade that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That does not happen. So the boy is either lying to be popular and to be entertaining, which is unacceptable, or, and I'm telling you, I didn't think this until this morning listening to McGurk, or the boy really is delusional, where he really thinks he sees bodies floating by, and he really thinks he got hit by a rocket-propelled grenade, and that could be serious stuff if the guy's crazy.
What did O'Reilly say?
O'Reilly was, Bill's a good guy, and he said, I think we basically had enough of taking, going after Brian Williams. This is the last thing about it. I'm not doing this tomorrow night. Greg Gutfeld wanted, and McGurk actually wanted to talk about it tonight on O'Reilly, and he said, no, I don't want to do it anymore. He suffered enough for what he did. I would have added he suffered enough for what he brought on himself, but again, I want to emphasize how wrong I may have in fact been when I said, like everything else in this culture, this thing is going to go away before you can say boo. And it just may not.
First of all, O'Reilly is a pansy. I will never speak to him again, and I want you to resign from appearing on his program.
What happened here?
Nothing. I'm just kidding around. So, all right, man. We were waiting all morning to hear what you would think. So, thank you very much. I always appreciate it.
And thank you for saying those nice things about me leading up to this. I appreciate that.
You're quite welcome. Bernard Goldberg here on the Imus and Wayne program. 12 minutes to lay on.